shadow, darkness, and evil are often mixed terms, especially in all kind of New Age circles, and we want to actually distinguish between them and have a language that is more intelligent in the dark areas, that we don't mix those terms because they're really different, even though they are connected. I'll start from saying that there are two different types of darkness in esoterics and also in modern physics. Mystics are talking about it for a long time. Actually, this is a debate between mystics for centuries and centuries. Darkness, does it have an essence of its own? Or is it just an absence of light? Most of the darkness we know is just the absence of light. You come to a dark room, all you need to do is turn on the light, and darkness is gone. Therefore, in mysticism for centuries and maybe thousands of years, actually in philosophy, there's this approach that says the darkness, also in terms of bad and evil, has no substance of its own. It's only an absence of light. Light being love, light being consciousness, intelligence. Buddha would say that all evil is coming from ignorance. Ignorance relating the true nature of existence. Like all you need to do is really meditate, contemplate, realize the true nature of this existence. You become intelligent in that way, and ignorance that gives birth to anger, sadness, violence is gone, because all those expressions are just an absence of light. Same would say the Neoplatonists in Western philosophy, and some Kabbalists as well. On the other hand, there are other Kabbalists and other philosophers that would say, no, there's something real in darkness. We don't know what it is, but there's something that is more real in darkness, that you cannot just say that darkness is an absence of light. Yes, of course there is a type of darkness. This is just an absence of light. But there's something more into that. They had to wait for 21st century modern science to speak about, or to reveal, dark matter and dark energy, which takes 96% of existence. So supermodern, this is like supermodern science, say that actually all that we know about existence in scientific terms, so all the stars, the galaxies, the whatever, all the matter, the light, all the supernovas and the nuclear reactions in the world, everything that we know of is only about 4% of what actually exists. So where's the other 96%? It's kind of embarrassing to think that, all that we know is, I mean, think about anything, any other aspect of life. If you would say like, oh yes, I invest my money according to knowing 4% of the market. Like, you would think it's stupid, right? It's like any other field, when you think like, I know 4% of what's happening, you feel like this is like ridiculous. But this is the world we live in. 96% is unknown to us. We just know that it exists. We calculate that it exists. Meaning, it's like this children's story about golden hair and the bears, something like that, right?
Goldilocks and the three bears.
Goldilocks and the three bears. Someone ate my, like, you know someone's in the house because someone ate my food, right? So it's like there is evidence, you didn't see it, but there is evidence that it affects. Someone ate my plate. So probably someone is there. That's how we know about the dark matter, dark energy. We calculate that there is an effect of this mass in the universe and of the energy. I wouldn't go into that because we're not in this field now. Just want to say there is, today, supermodern science speak about darkness that is not the absence of light. You can turn the light on dark matter as much as you want. You can laser it, beam it with whatever. It just doesn't react to light. It doesn't respond at all. It doesn't swallow photons like any black color. And it doesn't reflect photons like any bright color. It just, like, photons just go through that. It just doesn't respond to anything, not to light and not to touch and not to anything that we know. We just know that it's here. Now, where is it? It's here. It's not anywhere else. It's not like in outer space. It's here. It's in every atom of this reality, let's say between the nuclear part and the electrons around it, all the thing that we thought is empty, it's not empty. It's just empty of this kind of matter. But there is dark matter there. Saying dark, meaning it's dark to our conception. We cannot comprehend it. We have no ways to measure it. We just know that it exists. And that it's very, very powerful. ISTA, we many times say, is not a journey of enlightenment, but rather a journey of endarkenment, of spiritual endarkenment. Now, when we say that, we don't say we teach people to be bad people. You know, we are quite nice people, actually. We don't rob old ladies. You know, we don't. But we like the dark. But what does it mean that we like the dark? It doesn't mean that we are joining the mafia. Of course, every mafia person says that, right? Because our journey is the journey towards the dark matter. It's not towards the darkness that is just an absence of light. Nevertheless, we need to do the journey to the darkness, which is an absence of light, with light. Bringing consciousness to places that are unconscious. And this is the shadow. So what is a shadow? When we speak about shadow, shadow is a place that is not in the light. A shadow is an outcome of actually having light. So you shed your light, something, it has a silhouette. Same with ourselves. So what we put in the light is everything that I want you to see me, everything I want to see about myself. When we grow up, we learn how to be civilized people to the society that we grow up in. So of course, if you grew up, I don't know, in Maori, in New Zealand, yes, like 300 years ago, whatever it is, your code of ethics would be a little different. Eating people would not be considered something so disgusting or against anything. It would be like, yeah, of course, this is how we respect people we fight with. We eat them. Today, if you do that, you're going to end up in jail, probably. To kill them with machine guns, that's okay. When the states say so. Right? Because this is our culture today. So whatever it is, we are brought up to a certain society. According to the codes of this society, it doesn't really matter what are the codes of this society. As babies, we try to figure out what's the language here. Do we speak Chinese? Do we speak Hebrew, Arabic? What do we speak here? And what are the codes of society and that we need to fit in? And we put up a face that is our persona that tries to fit in. Everything that doesn't fit in would go in the shadow. So if you grew up in a culture that you need to be a nice, kind person, you would smile a lot. You will learn that if you smile, people actually respond nice to you. And the fact that you want to say, fuck you, son of a bitch, I'm going to kill you, this is like you put it behind and you still smile and you don't want to feel that. You don't actually like it because you're afraid to be found out and you're afraid to actually admit it. If you grew up in a culture that being sexual has something wrong with that, so you would put a face that you're just like a very modest person, and your whore, your slut, would be in the shadows. What happens with shadows is that sometimes the consciousness is not strong enough, maybe because you drank alcohol, or you took any other substance that blurs your consciousness, the part of you that can actually decide to put this part in the shadow, and then it jumps out, takes over, you do stuff that you wouldn't think you can do ever, and in the morning it's like, what the fuck did I do? Or sometimes you actually don't remember that you did that. You know, in extreme cases, you actually erase it, and you get up in the morning, you go to work, and if people would tell you what you did at night, it's like, no, not me. You're probably mistaken, because there is a denial. So anything that is in the shadows is stuff that we deny. We don't shine the light of consciousness on that. Because of that, we are actually half people, to say the most. There is so much stuff in the cellar. So much stuff is rejected and put out of our consciousness. We don't want to see that. We don't want to be seen like that. And of course, you can understand that this weakens us a lot. I mean, how much energy does it take to deny who you are? You constantly need to be on guard. You're constantly afraid of that monster that you put in the dark, that you locked in the cellar of your being. What would happen if this monster will come free? What would happen if they know that about me? And sometimes it's not about if they know that about me, you really are afraid. What horrible things can I probably do if I let this monster out? Who knows what will happen? I really have to lock the doors of the cellar really, really well. what happens, like in the movie, in the Disney film Monsters Inc. מפלצות בעם, that they grow. Once you deny them, they grow. So you have a little mouse in the cellar. The silhouette of a mouse can be huge. When it knocks on the door of the cellar, in your imagination it becomes like a big Godzilla that want to eat everybody and destroy the world and whatever it is. You're really afraid of what would come out of that, when truly it's a mouse. Maybe hungry mouse. Maybe a little angry as well. And that's the nature, that's what the truth about a lot of the animalic part of us that we put away. It's like, really like a dog. Have a dog, put him locked or tied up with a chain all his life, like guard dogs sometimes are. And this dog will bark and will be like really wild. And you would think, how can I release this dog? You can never release it. If you release it, it will be very violent. True, but that's just because you locked it. This is the psychology of locked up dogs. Most people are like that. They have a locked up dog inside, and they feel like, wow, if I let my dog run, it will jump on anyone. It will be a rapist. It will be, it will just take and take, like a dog that's want to jump on anybody. But truly, if you look at a dog that is released, that is not tied up, they're really kind of lazy. Prefer to look at you and say, "Hey, woof woof, come pet me." Most wild animals are in some way gentle. You think about it, lions, they're kind of lazy beings. Of course, when they're charged, when they're threatened, or when they're hungry, they would go and execute their power, but most of the day, it's like just relaxing. This is wild. Not in a zoo, I don't have to show myself all the time. Just let me be. Your wild part is also like that. Many times we think that our wild part is like dangerous, but most of the time it's just like, if you let the wild be wild, it's quite innocent. It's only the restriction of wilderness that created the wild to be threatening. The gap between our mind and nature. It made nature feel so dangerous to us. And it starts with our nature. Who I am. And who you are. So shadow is all this that we put in that we don't want to show. This is shadow. Darkness is something else. Let's take a deep breath. Just like this. Your body will just. Yeah. Shadow is that, and darkness is a frequency. Darkness is a frequency that we can feel. It's a color. The color black is dark. Many of us actually like it. We wear black. We put it in pictures. It gives depth to pictures. Imagine everything, all art would be just with bright colors. It would be horrible. Music. What give me a tone of light music? Just whatever. Give me a tone of dark music. Go to it. Okay, so Bach and Beethoven, who's darker? Beethoven is darker than Bach. Both are beautiful. So in all arts, you would find darkness, which is just a frequency. We can go more into that, but you get the gist of it. Darkness is a frequency that is important on the scale of existence. I would say on the scale of love. You can give love in a light way. That would be all kind of kutsi-mutsi. Like really light touch and gentle and be really, it's love. You can give love like that. And you can give love in a dark way. And it can go darker and darker, but still be love. You can give love with really fierce, strong power. It will be love. It will be really, when someone really needs to be knocked down, like really fucked well. And all the lover can give is just little gentle love. It's, what is it? Horrible. It can be a torture. When you need the dark love, and all you get is the fluffy thing. And the reason is because we're, as a culture, especially good spiritual people, are afraid of the dark. Because there is this confusion between dark and shadow and evil. But actually, darkness is beautiful if it serves love. And darkness can come with more density of power, with more density of words. So instead of saying like, how beautiful you are, you would say you're a great motherfucker. But it will be like a, with a, or you know, whatever it would be with a, using words that are more nasty and dark and dirty, so to say, but with love. Or it can also be with criticism that is coming from love. What we call dark love feedback. Which is, I love you so much, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I see. I'm not going to hide it from you in order to compliment you when you're actually full of shit. So I love you, brother, sister, and you're full of shit. I'm going to tell it to you from a place of love. Of course it can be from a place, many people don't know how to do that, so they will actually say that from a place of they are triggered, and they would say that. When I'm triggered, I'm not coming from love, but when I'm not triggered, I love you and I see you. It can be my student, it can be my child, can be my spouse, can be anyone. It's like, I see you, I love you, I feel love, and I feel the sorrow that you're lying. I see you lying to yourself. I see you avoiding your truth. If I try to be nice to you, it wouldn't serve you. So are you ready to receive dark love? Yes? Okay, here it is. This can be amazing. We do that a lot in level 3. So dark love can come in many ways, and it's so refreshing and so needed so many times. And our culture is not trained in that because we're afraid of the dark and we're afraid of the shadow and because we're afraid of evil. Let's talk about evil. What is evil? What is evil? What is bad?
Deliberate.
Huh?
Deliberate affliction or deliberate.
Deliberate? What?
Affliction, like harming someone.
Harming someone deliberately we call evil. What is bad? Something bad happens to you. So right now, like this morning, I wake up in the morning and I get a bad message. Actually, it says like bad news. The typhoon ruined the typhoon in Japan. Next month we're going to be in Japan, ISTA Japan, first time. We have a venue, we have people registered. Typhoon came and rocked the place. So I got a bad news. The typhoon destroyed the venue. We don't have a venue. Is it really bad?
No, it's a judgment about something.
It's exactly. I have plans. It's everything that is bad is going against my plans. If you just look at it, like whatever you think is bad, it's just because you have other plans. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's the biggest blessing. Maybe we're going to find an amazing venue. Maybe because of the new venue, we're going to get another person that would. Who knows? The maybes are so vast. You know, I remember the time that here in this country, there were buses would sometimes blow up, and you miss the bus, and you don't know, like, was it bad or was it good? Actually. It's a good fortune. I missed the bus. This one is going to blow. No, maybe I missed the bus and I'm going to on this one. This one is going to blow up. So, you know. Anyhow, it's all something that goes against my plans. And you know, the main plan that I have is to stay alive. But is it good? Like, who knows? You know, everybody has their time. We just don't plan that. But you're right. Evil, we say, like when deliberately I want to harm your path. Like I know you have plans to live, and deliberately I want to end that. But maybe I'm doing you a favor. Like it's on a big scale. On a big scale, the truth of that is we just don't know. It doesn't mean that that we're not going to judge the people that are stealing, raping, killing, da. But we judge them with this knowledge that because we're relating to a relative reality. In the relative reality, someone who stole money from one person or abused someone did wrong. But this is relative reality. In absolute reality, what do we know? You know, in all kind of mystic stories, you have, this person stole or whatever, then they reincarnated and someone needed to steal from them, so the karma would, whatever story you want to tell yourself. It doesn't matter. Judge bad and evil is all based on relative judgment. That's all. Take it with a sense of humor. Doesn't mean we don't judge, we don't have justice systems. Just means that we know that sometimes the people we put in jail are some kind of fallen angels. Who knows those gifts that are in jail, and who knows why they did what they did. Like it went not according to our plans. That's all we can say. That's all. Did it ever happen to you that you said someone broke your heart and you thought it's the end of life and whatever it was, like horrible thing, and then after whatever time you said like thank you because that led me to meet the love of my life, whatever, something like that. Like, that happens, right? That happens. All that we judge as bad and evil is just because we are narrow-minded to a certain degree to judge reality according to what we know. Either we can open our frame, or we can at least know that we don't know. Just have a little self-humor. Like, yeah, I feel horrible, I feel bad, yes, and I know I'm in relative reality. Yes. It's like, this is how I feel, this is true. That I feel like that. It doesn't mean that you're such a bad person. It just means that, like, yeah, whatever. This is the drama we're playing now. So we take a little bit of the absolute truth from good and bad and evil. The truth is that everything that is evil or bad has some destructive energy in it. Usually we plan to build, we plan to be alive, we plan to be healthy. Anything that goes against it, we feel is bad. Anything that is destructive to reality, we feel is bad and dark and evil, and we put it in the shadow. And the truth is that it has a spark of darkness, of real darkness. Like if light is what's constructing this reality, light, energy, matter, all this is constructing this reality, the other power, which is the real darkness, the essence of darkness, is what actually goes underneath that and undoes it. In Sabbatian Kabbalah, it's called, they look at it as like, God, the creator, has like an impulse to create the world, but also like any artist. Imagine I'm an author, let's say. I'm writing a book. All my characters are dependent on me writing them into being. But then I need to pee. I stop writing. Or I was like, you know what, I'm gonna leave this book. I don't know. It's like, I have something else. I have a romance. Or I want to sleep. Whatever. From the character's point of view, this is horrible. Don't leave us. No. It's like darkness, evil. I just want to pee. It will take 2 billion years in your time. But so imagine the creator of this creation has some other plans except of doing us, right?
What did that have to do with the Sabbatian Kabbalah?
That's how they look at it in Sabbatian Kabbalah. They say there is a light, there is an energy that creates the worlds, and there is an energy that doesn't have any interest in this world. That's all. It doesn't have any interest in this world, and it's here. In the way I understand things, what the Sabbatian Kabbalists were talking about is what physics talks about now as dark energy and dark matter. It just doesn't. It's not interacting with this world so much, even though it's here and it's so I'm not going to go too deep into that because we're here just for the sake of of framing our day, because we're going to go into the exploration of shadow darkness as a way to open up and to prepare you for the shamanic death of tomorrow, which starts right now. Those people that you said in this little exercise that you can't stand them, are you? Of course. You're intelligent enough, right, to know that. You're just looking in the mirror. The best way to look at your shadow is to see who I can't stand. Because what happens to us psychologically, and Carl Gustav Jung spoke about it a lot, we project the shadow on the enemy. I project my own shadow on my enemy. Now it can be enemy, financial enemy, cultural enemy, political enemy, doesn't matter. Things you don't want to see about yourself are projected onto someone who is kind enough to carry that for you in your reality until you grow enough to own it for yourself. Only when you grow enough to own it for yourself, you can go deeper into your soul. Because what happens until then, you're investing energy to polarize yourself from that. So let's say I'm all into conscious sexuality and gentle lovemaking and all about consent, and I hate those rapists and those takers and those who are abusers. I really, 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 really hate them. just imagine some of you would have this. What does it mean? That I created a persona that is kind, looking for consent. This is how I learned. This is how we create a healthy society. But I have these other parts of me. I have a rapist inside. I have a part in me that wants to take whatever it feels like taking. I have a part of me that doesn't give a damn about other people. It doesn't even recognize the other people. They're just means for my pleasure. But I don't want you to know that. I actually don't want to know that about myself. So I find, because I'm a multidimensional creator, I find some other people that are kind enough to project this upon them, and they hold this projection for me. So I have where to put my monsters. These are the monsters. Them. We just need to get rid of them. The real journey goes to owning that. Whatever you said you don't like is really, it's not like a new agey thing. This is how the psyche works. This is you, whether you like it or not. You just need to own it. Find it inside. It doesn't mean that rapists do not exist, but do you know the fact that, me and you, we can look at the same person, we can acknowledge that they are doing something. It will drive me nuts. And you're okay with that. It's not that we don't agree what's happening, it's just like it triggers me. It triggers the fuck out of me, and it doesn't trigger you. Why would it trigger me? Because I have it in my shadow. What triggers you is in your shadows. You are actually fighting it day and night to hide it. That's why it triggers you. You're fighting it non-stop. You're hiring your guards inside. You're paying a lot of budget to all those guards to keep those monsters behind bars, inside your brain, behind your, in your subconsciousness. And here they are, presented in your world, so you are triggered. So this is a really great gift. Whoever triggers you is like, thank you! You show me my shadow. Great, I hate it. But the one that will die, once you make the journey to include and to re-embrace your shadows, your persona is going to die. So if my persona is like, I'm such a righteous person, like I'm all okay with me, I hate those thieves. If I feel this, I'm polarized, but when I feel like, oh, the thief, it's actually a part of me that I always wanted, as a child, I loved to steal from my brother, my sister, whatever it is, but then I learned that it's not okay, and I put it, and now I'm a very decent man. But when I actually take it back, I re-embrace my shadow, what happened to my image of the very decent man? It crumbles. This is the death we're talking about. So tomorrow is death day. Today is the preparation. We're not going to kill your body, hopefully. You don't have enough insurance. But we're hopefully going to kill your self-image. Or it's going to die. And it's going to start dying now, if you wish, by actually starting to look at everything that you hate and triggered by, and own it. Start owning it. The day will go like that. I'm going to give you enough ways to own your shadows, be triggered, and re-embrace yourself, and allow your persona, allow what you think about yourself and the way you want to present yourself crack open, crumble, and fall. This is the shamanic death, when you stop, when you don't know who you are. Because all that you knew about yourself, irrelevant. Just becomes irrelevant. When you include the mystery,